New footage tonight of the moments when a swarm of local youngsters broke into a convenience store. This was close to Hackney's Pembury estate a week ago. The owner was a much-loved community figure, but that didn't stop the looters. Today, friends and volunteers were trying to put the shop back together again. In this impoverished neighbourhood, people still gave what they could. Where were the police, one woman asked.
I think if the police was carrying guns, then people will have more fear. Then they wouldn't have done so much.
These guys that done this thing, they shouldn't put them in prison. I think they should put them in some orange suit, get some chain on their legs, and let them rebuild back the neighbourhood.
The Prime Minister, speaking in his Oxfordshire constituency today, promised more no-nonsense policing, tougher sentencing, and a sweeping review of policies on schools, welfare and parenting.
Do we have the determination to confront the slow-motion moral collapse that has taken place in parts of our country these past few generations? Irresponsibility, selfishness, behaving as if your choices have no consequences. Children without fathers, schools without discipline, reward without effort, crime without punishment, rights without responsibilities, communities without control.
With the government also saying it would consider evicting and cutting the benefits of rioters, the opposition leader returned to his inner-city London school today to accuse the PM of playing to the newspapers.
Of course, the public says we want quick action. But a new policy a day, knee-jerk gimmicks, not thought through, they won't solve the problem.
At the youth club on Hackney's Pembury estate, there was also anxiety at the idea of cutting the welfare of rioters and their families. What these children need is rescue, not abandonment, they said.
It might be that we're running specialist programmes for them. It might mean that we work really hard on...
There's not a lot of sympathy for them. The public doesn't want to spend money on these people.
Yeah, they don't. But I wouldn't want to give up on them.
This is a community cowering behind bars and grills. No one here was prepared to talk publicly. They say they're too frightened of reprisals. Who runs this estate, I asked. The whispered reply came, the gangs. Type the name of the Hackney estate into YouTube and dozens of gangster rap videos pop up, filmed on the Pembury. Today, David Cameron said it was time government confronted exactly this.
A concerted, all-out war on gangs and gang culture. This isn't some side issue. It is a major criminal disease that has infected streets and estates across our country. Stamping out these gangs should be a new national priority.
This evening, Scotland Yard issued these pictures of a gang of looters being pursued by police. As the thieves are chased down the street in East London, what's now identified as a green Citroen careers into two officers. One can be seen slumped on the ground. Both were lucky not to sustain serious injury, and the incident is now being treated as attempted murder. It's 7 days since Hackney turned on itself. For all the party jibes, there does seem to be a broad consensus. These pictures are a metaphor for something rotten about Britain. From the richest and most powerful to the poorest and most excluded, there is greed, selfishness and immorality. Mark Easton, BBC News, East London.